This is Steele and Drex on demand.
Welcome back. This is a very interesting story, and I think you're going to go, what? A New Westminster couple was really surprised to find out that their credit union that they chose to invest with, they were trying to get an RRSP, wouldn't allow them to do business unless they checked a box to affirm that they believed in the Sikh faith. So you're thinking, what a minute? I don't understand this. This is a little known legal oddity of the financial world in BC. Credit unions can actually be set up specifically to serve religious or ethnic communities, and they are apparently legally entitled to reserve their services only for those communities. So we got this email from the couple, Eric Wilson and Emily Pozinska, is that right? Mm-hmm. Are in the studio with us. Thank you so much for coming in. Appreciate this. And so we're dying to hear this story. So first of all, it was you, Emily, right? You actually saw this on the form. You were supposed to say you believed in one God and the 10 gurus?
That's right.
When you saw that, what did you think?
When we actually went to the bank and we did all the papers, we actually filled out all the papers. We wrote our check, and everything was done. And at the end, we got that form to be signed that I believe in the 10 gurus. In 10 gurus, and I said that's not right. I can't sign it because I respected the religion, but I do not believe in it.
Yeah, you went there just to sort of do some simple banking. You want to set up an RSP for yourself. That's what it was. Yeah, that's what it was.
So you didn't sign it, and they called back the next day and said, hang on, we're going to have to cancel this because you didn't sign that, right?
That's correct.
What did you think when this just seems crazy.
Yeah, it did, because when we first got the form, the lady said that, well, that's fine, you don't have to sign it. So we left the bank thinking that we had invested in the RSP and everything was good. We were quite happy. It looked like a very nice branch to deal with, and the people were extremely nice to us. And then the next day when we got the phone call, I just couldn't believe it. So we went back to the branch and to get our money back, but that really wasn't why they wanted us to come back. They wanted us to convince us to keep the money there.
And to click off this form.
Just to sign the form and everything would be okay.
So you could have just easily ticked the box, but you didn't. Why?
Well, we didn't want to be a hypocrite, for one thing, and like I said, we respect the religion, but we don't believe in it. We're Catholics, so we couldn't, in good conscience, I wouldn't just check it off.
So this is Culsa Credit Union, based out of Surrey. You sent them a letter about this too, didn't you?
I did.
Emily, what offended you the most about this?
That somebody, the most offended me was that somebody would try to force us to just sign the paper. And I guess, how can you have somebody knowing that they don't believe in your religion just sign the paper and that's okay? And I guess the worst thing is that I am an immigrant myself, and I came to Canada not to change Canada, but live in Canada. So we all believe in different things, but I believe that the beliefs are for a person. It's so personal that
doesn't have a place in a credit union.
That's right, and it's a business. So if you open a business here, it should be for the public. We all came. Most of us are immigrants from other countries, but we cannot force what we had in other countries to be here. And Canada is very understanding to allow to do a lot of things. So I guess that it just couldn't fit in my mind that this is allowed to be here. To me, is a discrimination. It's religious discrimination, and that's, in a free country, shouldn't be like that. It's just not.
So Eric and Emily have provided us with a letter that Culsa Credit Union sent back to them. So you guys sent the letter, say, hey, we've got some concerns about this. They sent you back a letter. And Dalbir Singh Mehta, who's the CEO of Khalsa, states in the letter that Khalsa Credit Union was established in 1986. It's a requirement of the Credit Union Incorporated Act of 1996 that a credit union have a common bond of membership. Various categories of common bond are specified. One is religious interest, which applies to Khalsa Credit Union. He goes on to say, it is not to impose on any one's person's belief system, but instead it acknowledges the foundation that Khalsa Credit Union has been established upon to serve the Sikh community. Now, we as a show have reached out to Khalsa Credit Union separately, but they've yet to come back to us.
Eric, what do you think about that line saying that they are not imposing on any one person's belief system?
I don't believe that if they're trying to get you to sign that form. I made a suggestion to them. If they had the form and said, I understand that the Sikh religion believes in one God and 10 gurus, then I don't have a problem with that because it's informing you what their beliefs are, but they're not imposing them on somebody.
So what do you plan on doing about this? Are you going to take this any further?
I've taken it to our MLA, and
what has Judy Darcy said about it? Has she responded? I know that she's been a busy woman the last couple of weeks here, but has she at least responded, or have you received a response from her office?
I received a response from her office, and it basically told me that there was a closed bond credit union and that they were allowed to do that. But ironically, Judy came to my door canvassing one day, and I said, great, I'm glad you're here. I want to talk to you about this issue. And she didn't know anything about it.
What do you think should happen, Emily?
I was so angry when it happened, and I thought we do have to say it out loud to somebody. So everybody knows what should happen is they came and really apologized to us, but I think, and I don't know who can make a change and difference, but we should never, ever, ever have any business based or people not being able to deal with somebody based on where you came from, what's your religion, how you look, or what language you speak.
And Eric, your point, that you made before, which it could be as simple as them changing on their form, saying, hey, listen, just so you acknowledge that this credit union has been set up to serve A, B, and C, do you acknowledge that? It could be as simple as changing that on a form. And you would sign it because you chose them because that's the business you wanted to go with.
Exactly.
Yep. All right. Well, we appreciate you coming in.
Have you considered filing a human rights complaint?
Yeah.
I've got it all ready to go.
You've got the documentation ready to go.
Do you want it to get that far, or are you hoping they come back to you and say, hey, listen, we can come to an agreement on this?
I would like them to get rid of that document.
To get rid of that one religious requirement line.
That's it.
That you believe in it. That the person who opens an account that believes in that, because believing and acknowledging they are completely different things. Yep. So
I think it's a simple thing myself.
A simple fix.
But they don't.
Well, I think a lot of people would be really surprised to hear your story. Thank you so much for coming in to tell us your story and let us know what happens with that human rights complaint as you move forward. Appreciate your time. It's an interesting debate.
Eric Wilson and Emily Pazinska in studio with us this afternoon. We'll open the phones on this one as well. Randolph Richardson, who happens to be the president of the Canadian Atheists, heard our conversations, decided to call in. Randolph, welcome to the show.
Oh, hi. Thank you. To me, this is a clear violation of Section 15 of the Charter, so you're right that it is illegal for them to do it. It's our law.
But hang on. It's written under Canadian credit union law that they can. So we would need to change that law, essentially.
Well, that law is invalid because the Charter rights supersede that. Because the Section 15 of the Charter states you can't discriminate based on religion or race or sex or other things. They're all lumped in together. If they're discriminating based on sex, my reaction would be exactly the same.
And look,
they said they could get the product, they could get the RRSP. They just had to go ahead and click the box saying that they believed in one God and the 10 gurus, which they don't.
And the CEO even stated in the letter here, it says it's not to impose any one person's belief system, but instead it acknowledges a foundation. So maybe they need to change the wording here, wouldn't you say, Randolph?
I think they could make it optional, an optional declaration, but they should really put that on a separate piece of paper. But to make it a requirement falls under discriminatory practices.
So when they take this to the Human Rights Commission, you think they have a case?
If the Human Rights Commission decides to comply with to enforce the law, yes.
All right. Thanks for the call.